but yeah, and Michelle, I know you didn't see Untitled Home Invasion Romance.
What?
I
You
didn't. I'm
didn't see
sorry.
it?
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize it just came out. I'm so sorry. I saw, I was like, oh, this last week. I mean, in all
You
fairness,
didn't spend $15 to
I
watch?
know.
$7.50 on Amazon.
Oh, is that
Oh,
what? Okay,
no,
okay.
it's nine ninety
Maybe
Oh,
I bought.
nine.
Maybe I
It's
purchased
nine
it.
ninety
Okay.
nine. I just
7.50 it was when I did it.
maybe when you did it, you
God
got a
forbid I
discount.
overpay for the film that won our competition, since that happens so
You should
often.
pay twice.
it's a
as
write-off.
I should. I should go back and I would watch it 3 times if I could have.
Oh, I'm
It's a
gonna
good
watch it.
reference.
I added it to my watch list. Don't worry.
Yeah, please and please pay the most that you can. Paramount. David Ellison needs that money. He needs,
Yes. First episode of the season. Michelle's arguing with me that season is undefined. I define season as starting in January,
Okay.
like the traditional sitcom schedule. So this is season 5, episode
Starting in
1.
February.
How the Arts Were Won. She's interrupting my intro. That's okay.
Yeah, doesn't everybody live their life by sitcom season schedules?
Exactly.
Thank you, Josh. Josh Johnson and Jamie Napoli, writers of the new hit streaming film, I have to say, Untitled Home Invasion Romance. They're also Script Pipeline screenwriting competition winners with this script, this very script that is now a movie from 2017 is when the script won, which was a long time ago and also 3 weeks as far as the current timeline that we all have in our brain. Josh and Jamie, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. And to Josh's point, I structure my entire life around sitcom increments. I take 12-minute breaks and then I just kind of break for a while after 22 minutes. But no, I want to talk about the film. I want to talk about how it kind of became a film. You've said some really interesting stuff before we officially started, and Michelle will jam that into the middle of this
We
conversation
will.
somewhere.
We will definitely
So
jam
that way you don't
in.
have to repeat yourself.
Yes.
But let me jump right into it. How did the script get into the hands of Jason Biggs, for one, who's making his directorial debut with this one?
I don't know.
They
Is
forgot.
the short answer. It was like so many insane strokes of luck. I mean, Matt, this project is something that we like just have loved and held for like our baby for so many years, and we've had it for so long. We started writing it in 2016. We won Script Pipeline with you in 2017. It's weird to say we won Script Pipeline to you because it's just you chose it, and then
Yes,
I
Matt.
granted you. Yeah.
and then we had various like producers attached over the years, and it's just this roller coaster of things happen and then nothing really happens. And during the writer strike 2023, Josh and I were bored out of our minds and decided to revisit the script. We had like 100 different drafts. We had gotten notes from various like managers in the past and producers in the past. And Josh is really like a methodical person, and I am not. And he made like a 40-page like Excel spreadsheet of every change
love
we
that.
ever
Oh,
made.
my.
And the conclusion, which was the only thing that I read, which was that basically the very first draft that we sent you in 2017 was the best version. It was like the most exciting, kind of unhinged. We had tried to like, quote unquote, like fix problems based on all of these notes that just kind of just evened everything out and made it sort of bland. And we had this, the thing that we started with was a story that we just was really unhinged, and that's why we loved it. And so we went back to that, and then we kind of did this overhaul just on our own for a month, where I don't want to get too into the weeds, but it's like that we had a whole police force, and we basically kind of consolidated all of it into this female police chief that Anna Conkle plays brilliantly in the movie,
Right.
And we created the ED commercial, the Mr. Softy character, and so we did a handful of things that we felt like were additive and just building on the tone of the Script Pipeline draft. And then by chance, like literally the day after, maybe I don't want to like mythologize, but it's like I think it was like the day after I sent Josh a draft that I called like final. We're not touching this again. We got a producer, French Canadian producer, reached out to us who had read the script like 6 years earlier and was like, "Oh, what do you guys think about Jason Biggs?" And we were like,
he had read the script 6 years earlier.
6 years ago?
Yeah.
And you hadn't heard from him in 6 years, or you had been in touch with him?
I think he had maybe sent check-in emails. We've still, to this day, Matt, we have not met this man.
What producer is it? Are we allowed to say the producer? Is he credited on the film? Okay.
I'm hesitating because I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Oh, what is
Jimmy Philemond?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Montoute.
But yes.
I'm sorry. Philemond Montoute?
Yeah.
Wow. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and so he had checked in with us like a couple times over the years, but like Jamie said, we had never met him in person. He was always very nice.
Yeah.
And still haven't, always very nice, always very awesome. But he was in Canada. We hadn't met him, and he was just interested in the script, but there was no real plan for it. And then honestly, I mean, it was literally like the day we got done with it, he came and pitched us Jason Biggs because he was in contact with Jason's agent, Brad Shank, and knew that Jason was interested in directing something that would be wildly different than what he was known for. Studio comedies, American Pie, etc. And it was really Jimmy that kind of put the pieces together and said, I want to get this to Jason's agent. I think that he's going to love it. And that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned personally going through it, is just how, to get a movie made, especially when you're not a big name or have like a huge track record, it really takes the stars aligning. And it really takes a producer like Jimmy to be able to say, this script with this star who has this particular appetite right now for this project, and boom, it all comes together. And then, I mean, it was like Thanksgiving week, honestly. And Jason read it, said he wanted to do it. And we were on the phone with him a week later and moving full steam ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was maybe 6 months after that we were on set. So it all happened
so fast,
incredibly fast from when Jimmy. It was like sort of a stroke of genius, because we would have never thought. Put any of that together, and that he thought of Jason, and I did not trust it. This is like trying to be in this industry for 10 years. I don't trust anybody, and I think he sent us a screenshot of Jimmy sent us a screenshot of a Zoom with Jason, where the two of them were talking about the script, and Jason had like a smiling with a thumbs up. And no, that's Michelle. I was like, I swore, I was like, I called Josh and I was like, he's photoshopped this. We're getting played. Don't sign anything. And it all moved incredibly fast. Brad Cravoy at MPCA came on board and got it financed, and it was like it really, we every step of the way we sort of were not believing that it was real, and it was like, I think we were like flying to Sudbury, Ontario in this little prop plane, and we were like, do we think this is getting made? Like, do we actually believe this at this point? Yeah.
In a prop plane.
I've joked a lot about this with my wife, and she always kind of throws it back at me that, anytime we ever have any kind of success, just marginally, she's like, well, why don't you celebrate? And I'm like, you cannot celebrate a movie until you're sitting in the theater and the projector has started, and you're sitting there watching it. Because like up until that moment, there's so many things that could just put the kibosh on the entire thing.
Even then, the projector could burn down. You never know.
I know. Exactly. The studio could pull it. It's just like, I think that's just a part of the like writer personality. I think a lot of people can kind of relate to that experience, that you it's hard to celebrate. And so I've tried to learn, and I give, advice to anybody listening that you got to celebrate the little things. Anytime something small happens, you just got to, enjoy it every step of the way.
Even if you'll hate yourself for it later because it failed or something.
Yeah.
No, you'll make yourself miserable if you're constantly doing what I do, which is like not believing anyone, being constantly suspicious, moving through the world, and like never celebrating, and then you finally have something that you do celebrate, and you're like out of practice, and you don't know what you're like. Oh, this is a weird feeling that I have.
Yeah, and then you just wait for the sky to fall right after that. So.
I won't say which project it was, but we had a contest winner of ours that went into production, finished everything, and still has not been released, which is probably even more devastating than a script falling apart before it starts shooting, right? I would think. And yeah, I think Josh is totally right. Like, you don't want to, like, everything is terrible. Just go in with that mindset. That way the bar is so low that everything is superseding it. But look, it has to be satisfying that it not only did it come out, but like it's good. It's like a legitimately good movie. I liked it.
Thank you.
I feel like it earned every beat too, because it gets very ridiculous in the second half, but it earned it. They built up the backstory. This draft anyway built up the backstory to where it just made a lot of sense and it resonated, on a weird sort of emotional level. I don't want to give too much away of the script, but
Well, I feel like so much of that is owed to Jason, not just as the director, but as somebody who is an actor turned director, because of being able to work with the characters, being able to understand the arc, being able to understand, like you're saying, Matt, the tonal shifts or the beats, even just within a scene. I mean, the fact that Jason has so much experience acting, I think that really helps. We could have had a director who's maybe a fantastic, technical director and did a decent job with it, but I really do think the fact that he has so much acting experience really helped with the fact that there's comedy and horror and drama all smashed together with this movie.
Yeah.
But I'd love to say that that Megan was just like a godsend. I mean, in the fact that she only had a few weeks to prepare. I mean, she did such an amazing job. I can't imagine anybody else doing that role. I mean, the stuff that she had to go through, I mean, gallons of blood for one, and the amount of stunts that she had to do. It's like she was absolutely perfect. Yeah. There's some lake rowboat stuff late in the movie, and she absolutely killed it. I mean, it was actually snowing when she had to get in the water, and they only had a couple takes to be able to do it because they were racing against time. And it was just, I mean, I can't sing Megan's praises enough. Not just her performance and the arc that she goes through, but I mean, just the physicality of the role. It was absolutely game changing when she came on board.
Yeah. I think the arc is a big thing because, if you're not familiar with it, I know you guys are, like, the character of Susie is a very specific kind of person when we meet her, and a very different person at the end of the story. And we wrote this starting in like 2016, so it's been in our heads for such a long time. And we've had so many conversations about like, oh, who could play this role or whatever. And it's like, I feel like there's so many actors that could play like the first half of Susie, and there's a lot of actresses that could play the second half of Susie, but it's like being able to sell the person that we meet, and we buy her as like a certain, as she's in this, that she loves her husband, she loves Jason Biggs, but is not, but there's something wrong with the marriage, and that we can feel empathy for her, and like both get why she's frustrated with him, or that she's frustrated with him, but also care about her and empathize with her. And then to like be there with her every step of her journey to the end of the movie, where she's like totally out of control, insane, and like rooting for her. And it's like, again, I don't want to spoil too much stuff, but it's like, I did a screening in our backyard for like we got like 35 people or something to come watch it, and that were not familiar with the story. They're just friends. And they were like, even when she was doing like really terrible things, I was like, I'm just like rooting for her against like innocent victims, and like, just like I'm rooting for Susie, and that's just because I think like a testament to how incredible Megan played that role.
So the screenplay, as I understand, it was originally titled differently, right? It was titled Getaway.
Yeah.
So,
Titled Home Invasion Romance.
Yeah. And so who changed the title? Are we supposed to know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, our studio's Paramount, and they have, just a kind of a blanket rule about if they have a movie in their library that shares a similar title to something that they're making, it's just a flat, you need to change it, no negotiation, nothing. And so we were deep into post-production. I mean, they didn't inform the team about this until they had a full edit of the film. And all of a sudden Jason comes to us and he's trying to, we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the title? So Jamie and I came up with like dozens and dozens of ideas, and essentially Jason credits it's either Megan Rath who came up with it or our editor Molly Goldstein that came up with it. But essentially it's like an inside joke in the movie, because the whole story is an actor staging this home invasion with his other actor buddy. So he wrote a script, and when we were originally writing Getaway, we were trying to come up with like, what's the craziest, most insane title that this actor Kevin character would put on his 2-page scene for his buddy. And we're like, oh yeah, Kevin's gonna call it Untitled Home Invasion Romance, just because it's like the weirdest title ever.
Yeah.
And so then when Jason pitched it to us, it made us laugh, and it's definitely made into, everyone's got an opinion on it, which is great.
Yeah, it's funny. It gets a lot of like questions and pushback, and like I've had so many conversations with people where I'm just like, yes, it is. No, that is the name of the movie.
Right.
Like, that's what it's called. But like having seen it twice now with like a fairly big audience, that it is a very funny title spoken within a movie moment, where it like when Anna Konkle like reads the title of the movie within the movie, it gets a laugh every time. And it's like, I mean, it's like, so it's, I think it's something that there's people have a lot of questions about before they see it. And then you see it and it's like, oh, okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like that works pretty well. And it's a very unusual title, and it, but we thought it was funny.
Did you do any like quick rewrites while on set? I know you were, you were on set for the whole production or most of the production.
We were there for the first half. It was a 20-day shoot. We were there for 2 weeks. We worked. I mean, when Jason came on, he had a lot of fantastic notes. So we worked with him like during prep to make, I mean, some of it was like cutting, making things producible. He was also, I think smartly wanted to make sure that Act 1 was really grounded, because again, it gets to a pretty crazy place. And it was very important to him that like we believe this relationship, we believe every detail of the story before things start to spiral out of control. And so we worked with him closely in prep doing that. And then once we were on set, there's always, this location is different than what we expected and we need to change something, and or we need an alt or whatever. And so that was a lot of fun. Josh and I had an amazing time on set watching these actors that we love, bringing it to life and improving and things like that, and being able to be useful, which is like, I think my big anxiety with being on set as a writer is feeling useless and like and just in the way of just and
which is funny because it's your movie. I mean, you're like the God particle of all of this is the writer, right? But then
that's what I called myself on set.
Yes, God particle.
I asked for a director's chair that said God particle.
T-shirt, but okay, yes, director's chair.
There was just on set changes. It's also, like Jamie was mentioning, a 20-day shoot. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, the budget for this movie was not very big. The schedule for this movie was not very big. And we had a lot of stunts, car stuff, fire, water, boats. I mean, you name it. And it's like you try to achieve these kinds of things on a small budget. And in indie filmmaker knows, I mean, that stuff takes a lot of time. And so we were, a lot of what we were doing was honestly doing rewrites of, okay, if we run out of time and we
Right.
need to change one of these stunts, what can we do? But I've got to say, every single step of the way, when the producers were like, I don't know. Jason's like, we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. And like,
Nice.
it's like his leadership, his determination, holding on to, I mean, God, it's like so many people wanted to get rid of the fire stunt in the movie, and Jason's like, we're doing the fire, and
Right.
I'm so appreciative of the fact that he pushed for those things. But those were, Jamie and I are constantly in final draft trying to be like, okay, if it can't be on the boat, where can it be? Or with the end of the movie, there is just a scene that's just between Kevin and Susie. Without spoiling it, it's just a scene between the two of them. And we did a number of different versions of that to really figure out, okay, what is the right button on this thing? Where are we going to leave these two characters? Should there be dialogue? Should there be no dialogue? If there is dialogue, what is it? And trying to find exactly, where they are is a really fine line. So they actually did and shot a couple different endings that we had come up with, and I think they picked the best one.
Yeah, and that continued through post. I mean, there was
Yeah.
there were certain scenes that were cut that created sort of like holes, and Jason and Molly, our editor, did a wonderful job of kind of shuffling things around. And Josh and I, we're grateful that we were kept in the loop, and had just a good rapport with them to be able to. I mean, I think it was like, I feel like we got a call on Thanksgiving day or something, like, when they were right before handing in their cut of like, trying to rework the opening of the film, because making it's like basically we're coming in on this marriage that's on the rocks, and we, it needs to be on the rocks enough that we believe that the character of Kevin, who Jason plays, is going to take this really outrageous leap to try to win back his wife, right? Which is, he plans a stages a home invasion where he can play hero. But we also need to root for them as a couple and want them to be together.
Sure.
And so that was something, the way that the film opens was something that was constructed in post. We didn't have any money for reshoots or anything like that, and had this idea of opening with their wedding vows. And I think it works really well. It's one of my favorite things in the film, where it's just like, it was a very simple fix, but you do it
really
you
changes
feel it through the rest
everything.
of the story. Is like you are rooting for them as a couple. And like, one of the things that Jason said was like that he had gone back and forth with the ending of this, where did the film leave you, of do you want them to be together, or do you not want them to be together? And the changing the opening to be the beginning of their love story had an impact on his own feeling about the end of like, no, I want them to make this work, as insane as that is. So it was, I think for the two of us, it was a really great, rare experience of being able to be involved from, for 7 years before anybody cared about it, to through production and through post, to be able to have some influence on shaping the film and what actually gets made.
Yeah. Is Biggs doing another, like, is he going to be a director now, as far as you know?
I hope so. I think he's really talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like he's like, because to be a director like that, you have to be such a good team leader, and have, like you said, he seemed to exhibit great leadership and great, like, he had vision and he stuck with it, and and he also understood what you guys were trying to go for too. So sounds great. I really can't wait to see it. I'm curious, do you like the final version of the script, wherever it landed, better than your original?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, through the process of casting and the actors bringing their own, their own experience, their own, vision of the character to it. Molly, the editor, Jason's vision. I mean, Jamie's example of the opening, right? We'd worked on the script for 9 years, and the opening was something that happened just a couple weeks before Picture Lock.
Right.
And that's great. And that, it really is the perfect opening, and that never existed. And the movie, I think, needs that to sell the relationship, like Jamie was explaining. So I think in total, as the story evolves, just from the page to production to post production, there's that cliche that a movie's written 3 times. And by the time it's all done, it has matured to a place that, supersedes, I think, any draft that just existed in text on a page.
Yeah, one of the things, as someone who's who's in the industry, but we're in the wastelands, right? Like we're out here looking for good soldiers to put into the city. I'm making this up, obviously, but that's basically what we do.
That's a cool image of you, man.
Yeah, I'm just I'm one of those packs, and you, sir. But I have to put that video on the site somehow. But no, we come across so many different types of writers and so many different types of scripts. It's taken me 20 plus years to finally accept the fact that some scripts fit with managers, some scripts don't, and some scripts are just meant to be indie things. When we sent this script out, everyone was like, no one wants to make a black comedy, no one wants to do this. And not to it's fine now because it's made, now I can talk about it. People weren't people liked the script. They're it's really good, I don't know what to do with it. Which is a response we get on a lot of scripts that may be very good, right? So timing is just such an important factor in it. And I think the big takeaway for any new writer listening to this particular story is that if you hadn't made that relationship with that producer that many years ago, this movie wouldn't have gotten made yet, probably, right? So you really do have to be proactive and make those relationships, because you don't, if it doesn't pay off in 3 months, that's not a big deal. It could pay off down the line. This morning I went back and reached out to a writer from 5 or 6 years ago, almost, from your competition season, asking them if a certain script was still available, because I'm well, now people want this type of script, right? So trends change, and again, you can't limit yourself to a certain market. And I know for you guys, you just want to see the film get made. It doesn't matter if it was a studio film or if it was, streaming indie or whatever. But anyway, good tenacity is my point here.
Perseverance.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's timing, and I think it's also just finding the right partner. Right. It's Josh and I talked about this all the time, that it's so, I mean, we've had projects where we have 50 conversations with people who are oh, I really liked your script. What else do you have? And it's that is nice. It's nice to get compliments, but it's not, at the end of the day, it means nothing. It's not helpful. And then it's when you find the one person who's deeply passionate, and it's it sort of doesn't matter if nobody else is, but you find the one person that can help you, that can do, that can get something made, or that is a true partner. And it's we've had, with the Getaway script, it was always kind of a well-liked and divisive script, where it's it's just through over the years, it was there was a few people that were I love this, and I want to see this get made, and finding those, the Matt and the Jimmy and the Jason Biggs, it's the people that are right. No, this is something that I really want to make, and I see, and I mean, we certainly didn't write this dark comedy with any ideas about trends or whether the industry was looking for this. And I find it very hard to think about things in those terms.
But to that point, you guys have written other genre stuff before. You're not limited to comedy. A horror script that we helped you guys develop a little bit, read a few drafts of it and sort of honed in on it. That, and I read a script of yours, I want to call it Gentleman's Guide to something. What was the title?
That was it. Yeah, The Gentleman's Guide.
The Gentleman's Guide.
That was it. Hey, I got it right. I thought there was more to it. Untitled Gentleman's Guide, adventure romance drama. That was a great script too. And I won't say, who was attached to that and who was shepherding that for a while, but that was a great one as well, and it kind of sort of climbed the ladder. And I don't remember what happened to it. I won't bring it up in case that's a sore subject. But the range that you guys have, do you feel like that's sort of, from your perspective as writers, like that's what every writer sort of needs to have now, or do you think you can stick to a certain genre? Or should stick to a certain genre for that
I mean,
matter?
honestly, the most strategic thing is to stick with a genre and market
Yeah.
yourself as one very particular thing. Because when a studio says, I need the, police writer who has, experience in medicine, it's like there's a guy they're going to call and they're going to get the job. And
Every
it's like
time.
that's really that's the most strategic Hollywood thing to do as a writer. We have a hard time doing that because we just fall in love with characters, we fall in love with premises and are just genre agnostic, really. When we find, it's like we haven't really, ventured into something like, hard sci-fi or high fantasy necessarily. But I think the through line to everything that we write are really characters that are really driven. They're all, and ambitious and are very flawed. And we love to find ways of making fun of them because we see ourselves in them. And if it turns out to be an adventure movie or a dark comedy or a horror story, it's like that genre is a little bit kind of after the fact. We never set out to be like, let's write a horror because I want to, right? Instead it came from, okay, here's a premise, this is what we really love, and just dove into it. I don't think we ever had a single conversation about genre, honestly. It's always just been story and character.
Yeah.
We did have, I remember right after we wrote Gentleman's Guide and it was going out, we had a conversation. We were not repped at that point, and we had a conversation with a manager who I think it was a phone call, and he said, I'm looking for an adventure writer. Will you two be I need an adventure writer on my roster. Will you two be my adventure writer? And Josh,
Did he have that deep throaty voice?
I don't know. I don't even remember who this was. I just remember this like bizarre like request of like this proposition of like to be the adventure writers in his roster. And Josh and I were just like, is that what we are? Like, it's like we just finished this script. We don't even quite know what it is. We just, we loved it, and it got it got a great reaction from you, Matt, which we appreciated and gave us a lot of confidence, taking it out. And it's, kind of like Getaway / Untitled Home Invasion Romance. Like, that, Gentleman's Guide is a script that still love and stand by. We definitely have things that we wrote in the past that we're just like, that can stay in the past. But that script is one that we love, and we're still, it's not helpful to continue to like constantly be spinning our wheels to get old things made. But we, that's definitely one that stays, that we don't want to, that we don't want to trash, because we love it so much.
Yeah, and I know there's inner workings of the industry and the politics, and Michelle kind of knows this with scripts that she's written, I think, even, where like once you've sent it out to a bunch of places, and it's been kind of like I'm not trying to make a weird analogy here, but it's been like passed around to different, it's kind of tainted at that point. You kind of have to you know what I mean? It's a timing issue at that point. It just kind of has to back burner for a while you write something new, and then something new sells and it's big, and it's like, now we can revisit, this thing. So I know how that goes as well. But Michelle, you had a question.
I do. I feel like you guys are like the word perfect partnership here. So how did y'all find each other, and what's the secret sauce? Because I hate working with other people.
Ooh, hard same for me.
Are you looking to start your own solo podcast, Michelle?
No, Matt and I. No, I love Matt.
Like
when it comes to
Matt.
podcasts, I can do that. Yeah, I'm just curious because Jamie, you said like you're like the free thinker more like, and Josh, you're much more structured, and the 40-page Excel or not.
Yeah, we
Excel,
have like a buddy cop. I'm always telling Josh that I'm a lone wolf, and I need to. We went to USC together. We were roommates, and I don't know. I like personally, I love writing together. Like I love writing with Josh, but I also just love co-writing in general, because it is like I would so much rather work out ideas in conversation than like by myself staring at a screen in total silence. And so that's always my preference. And and then I think Josh and I don't want to overanalyze our dynamics too much, because I always like worry that if I start pulling threads, I'll somehow like
unravel the
mess
whole
with something,
thing.
and then we'll be like, am I doing that thing again that but we're, I don't know. I think we complement each other really well. We have, I think, right by the same sort of value system in terms of what we care about. And it's like we just talk. I mean, which is when you like somebody, your friend, when it's based in a friendship, we're able to, I mean, when we're outlining something, we'll talk for like 8 hours a day. And I think a lot of people, I would be driven crazy doing that. And I don't, feel that way with Josh. And I will say, by necessity, I think we have to outline a lot more than a solo writer, because we work together. Like it's so important that before we like embark on a new project, that we're fully on the same page. We know, that we can answer any, question about the characters. Because I think we can get really kind of lost if we start something and I think we're writing one kind of story and Josh thinks we're writing something else, and we're not, and so we're really meticulous outliners, which is not my normal way of doing things, but it really, it benefits us in the way that we work. And we talk about, we work through the story and the characters, and also how we want the audience to experience the story, and it's like, we were just talking about this and thinking back to like the beginning of the Getaway script that's now Untitled Home Invasion Romance. And, we had this conversation where we were like, we know that this story is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It is really wild. But we like, our priority just at, 10 years ago and starting this it's like the experience of reading the script is like, you're constant, like you never trust the ground that you're on. The rug's constantly getting pulled out from under you. It's a very quick read, and you get to the end of it and you're sort of like, what the hell did I just read? Like, what was that?
Those are the best scripts, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the what the hell did I just read scripts.
Exactly.
That's what I love, stories like that. And so that was our goal in that first pass. And I think what's really nice is 10 years later, 9 years later, it's like to be able to show the movie, which has had all these other hands on it, and Jason's vision sort of shepherding it into life, and to watch it with an audience, and people kind of have that same reaction to the movie that we had hoped that they would have to the script 9 years ago. So that's very gratifying, and that comes from just, again, our hours and hours and hours of talking and being like, what are we? What is this? Who is this person?
And Josh, you like Jamie?
Yeah,
Josh,
he's all
how do you
right.
feel?
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, he was the best man at my wedding, so it's hard to take that back.
Oh. You guys should stage a home invasion one day when Josh's marriage was on the run.
Jamie will be the guy, breaking in for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully it turns out a little bit better than the movie. Josh, you just had a baby as well, right? Or you didn't have a baby? I did. Born a child. Yes.
Sure, yes. My wife just had a baby. Yep. 5.5 months. So she's amazing.
Aww.
Yeah.
Is which the wife or your daughter?
Both, but in that context, I was referring to my daughter.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Cora
Johnson.
Yeah.
Future Olympic softball player name.
Yeah.
Or senator.
Josh got married when we were in production.
Really?
Oh, really?
Which shows you how quickly this happened, because I'm sure he would have not picked the same date as when we were shooting, because it was it came together. I mean, you already had your wedding date when all of this sort of fell into place. We spent 2 weeks on set and then flew to Iowa to get Josh married.
Oh my God.
So,
well, Josh, how did your wife feel about this?
She's very supportive. I know, like, deep down there was, I think, anxiety about it, but I don't think there was any moment where she would ever thought, oh, maybe I should tell him not to do it. I think from the beginning she was like, no, this is as long as you make it to the altar on
time
at 3 p.m. Whatever. Then
she called me to make sure that the production was real. She thought he was trying to find a way out. Yeah. It's like, so I have to go to northern Ontario.
Wow, that's real cold feet,
Yeah,
that's a whole other movie concept right there.
Yeah,
just fake it a movie to get out of your wedding.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Michelle, you should write it.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Well, getting any movie made is a filmmaking miracle. So it turned out wonderful. Untitled Home Invasion Romance.
Everybody should watch
Amazon. It's only $7.50 on Amazon.
No, it's not. It's $9.99.
Plug in the deal. Is it $9.99 now? You were serious?
I'm serious. Yeah.
I got that opening day deal. Then it is worth.
It is worth every penny.
I would have paid $27. That was I would price it at $27. That's how people should rate movies now. Instead of the star rating, make the price that you would be willing to pay to rent it. Yes.
I love that. It's like the Met. It's like pay what you think it should be. Yeah. Which is real. It like puts a lot of pressure and it should be public what you paid for it too. So people know.
Yes.
Like,
unless it's like 5 cents or something, because that's what I thought this was worth. In which case, I don't know. You want that public.
Well, I like that idea. To pay what it deserves. I never pay anything at the Met. I just kind of go and just slip in with my membership. But great movie. Hopefully, you guys have many more. One a year.
Yeah.
Well, one produced movie a year.
we do too.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys for
thank y'all so
being
much
on and sharing your stories.
Thank you guys.
We'll end there.
Okay.
Cue the music. That was great. There's so much. That's great. Most of our listeners are going to be so wonderful. So that's great. How did the Reddit well, that one,
we sent you a draft and you had loved everything we sent up until that point that you had read of ours. And I think we sent you a draft and you came back and you were like, is it okay?
To be honest.
Okay. Like we went and we were like, okay, we have to go back and figure out what's not working.
Matt is my weather vane, definitely. And he has such great taste too. So
sometimes I'm stuck on South, but yes, I am the weather vane.